Viewers, the focus that we have for you this morning is what is happening in the Middle East. It's day 13 of the war that we are witnessing that is showing, in fact, no signs of de-escalation. Now, the latest update we are getting for you is what has happened around the Strait of Hormuz. As the Strait of Hormuz boils, big claim has been made by U.S. officials. According to reports, U.S. officials have claimed that Iran had laid mines in the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway that carries 20% of the world's oil exports from the Persian Gulf to the rest of the world. This is the latest update. The mines, in fact, are being described as the most destructive weapons that the U.S. Navy has faced. This is the latest update that we are getting for you right now. And with this, what we can say is that this war has now entered dangerous waters quite literally. And now a big claim, in fact, is being made by United States officials as well, who are saying that it was Iran that laid mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, this is as per reports. Just yesterday, the U.S. said there was no indication that Iran was laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. And viewers, like I said, today is day 13 of the war and bombing continues. The latest update is a fresh statement that has come from U.S. President Donald Trump, who has hit out at Iran, saying that they are pretty much at the end of the line. Listen in.
And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. Oh, we won. But they gave me a list of names of generals. Sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name. And I can only say this. They were all prepared. They're very strong. You know, they're going to try and take over the whole Middle East. They were going to knock out Israel. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know what hit them.
So this is what U.S. President Donald Trump had to say. Let me now go across to my colleague Rishabh, who is joining us on the broadcast this morning. Rishabh, big update there coming in. Now, as per reports, U.S. officials are saying that it was Iran that had laid mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, this is clearly getting dangerous, isn't it?
Well, if we talk about, the intel that suggests that Iran has put mines in Strait of Hormuz, when this question was asked to the spokesperson of White House, she says that because President feels so, and no other explanation. So, since the beginning of this war, 13 days ago, there hasn't been credible, assertions that have been made by United States. Now United States say that there is hardly anything to be bombed in Iran. But the way Iran is responding is something that's not giving an off-ramp to Donald Trump as well. Many times we have seen that Donald Trump wanted to get out of this, asserting that his country has won, or his side has won for that matter. But the next moment we have seen Iran doing something that compels U.S. to continue with this conflict. Remains to be seen how things unfold, what happens from here on. Mines, no mines, attacks on vessels, tankers. The whole global order is disrupted because of this conflict.
Right. Rishabh, can you also explain to our viewers what exactly are these sea or naval mines and a little bit about their capabilities?
Well, see, sea mines are basically meant for naval blockade. You can have equipment that can intercept the projectiles moving toward tankers, and that's when the naval ships come into play. But here, when it comes to sea mines, A, naval ships are equally at risk as a civilian vessel is. B, it takes time. Even if you send an advance party to look for the minefield or to clean the minefield, it takes time. It's slows down your naval movement also, or your vessel movement as well. There are three types of mines. One is basically mine that just go, the moment it impacts, it has an impact on the ship, it blasts. There are influential mines as well, which senses the movement and blast. And then there are surface missiles as well. As per international law, use of surface missile is not correct, but Iran has used that in past as well.
Right.
As of now, there is no credible, intel that how many mines and what kind of mines Iran has. Iran has Iran-built, Russian-built, and China-built sea mines, and the range that intelligence suggests is somewhere between 2,000 to 5,000, which, by the way, is way too much for Strait of Hormuz. And that's the reason that Donald Trump is worried right now.
Right. Rishabh, stay on with us. More updates coming in. Now, we have a reaction coming in from Iranian president. Iran clearly isn't backing down. Iran's president, in fact, has outlined three conditions to end the war. One, recognition of its legitimate rights, payment of reparations, and firm international guarantees against future aggression. Let's also, get you another important update that we have right now. It's day 13 and tensions are escalating. The latest is attack on 2 oil tankers in Iraq. A big claim has been made by UK Marine Trade Organization. Tankers were struck by some unknown projectiles. Massive fire, in fact, was reported on tankers. This is the latest update that we are getting for you, and this is as per UK MTO. All crew members are safe. This incident was reported in Iraq's Al-Basra. This is the latest update that we are getting for you right now. UK MTO, in fact, received a report of an incident in Al-Basra, close to Al-Basra in Iraq. In fact, as per reports, 2 tankers have been struck by unknown projectile. And this is the update that we are getting for you. 2 tankers have been struck by unknown projectile. It's day 13. The tensions are escalating now. The CSO of one affected vessel confirmed the attack and had, in fact, the attack that had caused fire on board. The CSO also reported that the crew have been evacuated. The crew members are absolutely safe. Right now, the investigations are going on to identify the second vessel that also get impacted. We have with us KP Fabian joining us on the broadcast as well. Good morning, sir. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. What do you make of what we are getting at this point in time? Oil tankers in Iraq also being targeted. Big claim has been made by UK Marine Trade Organization. These tankers reportedly were struck by unknown projectile.
Thank you, and good morning. What we have to understand is that the oil routes, the passage of oil from that area, West Asia, that is GCC, plus Iraq, and of course, that has been imperiled. And the United States military has not been able to do anything to change that position. And with that, oil prices are shooting up, and the dislocation in the global economy will compel President Trump today or tomorrow, sooner rather than later, to put an end to this operation.
But what will really put an end to this operation, sir, in your opinion? Because also last weekend we did hear from the Iranian president, who seemed to suggest that there will be no attacks on the Middle East unless, of course, provoked.
Yes, what President Pezeshkian said is that, unless there are attacks on Iran from U.S. bases in the GCC, he will not target them. But there have been attacks. And also, since you mentioned Pezeshkian, he has also said that he wants compensation and all that. But I don't take it seriously. It is possible for President Trump to declare, quote, victory, unquote, and put an end to it. And Iran will be very glad to see its counter operations.
Okay. We leave it there, sir. Thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on what is really happening in the Middle East right now. Let me also go across to my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary, who is joining us live right now for more on this. Srinjoy, I want to talk to you specifically about what reports are suggesting, a big claim that has been made by US officials who are now indicating that it was indeed Iran that laid mines in the Strait of Hormuz.
You would expect the Iranians to do that because they want the Straits of Hormuz to be closed. And if any of these ships hit a mine, the result is not very pleasant. So this is something that the Iranians want. They want the Straits of Hormuz to be closed. They want the price of oil to go up because 20% of the world's petroleum deliveries go through the Straits of Hormuz. So this is exactly what they would want. And
but isn't that already happening?
They are looking at
Isn't that already happening? Because energy prices are already skyrocketing.
Yes, but once you close the Straits of Hormuz, you are absolutely sure that this will happen and it will continue for a long time. Besides that, anyone who wants to still try and go through the Straits of Hormuz, despite the area being mined, there are anti-ship missiles, presumably, and also drones. So that is a formidable thing to do because for a civilian, for a tank, a shipping company, to see its own ships and its personnel going into danger, into a danger zone, is not nice at all. So here you are. Imagine you're heading a shipping company. You have lots of ships, tankers, merchant ships. Do you want to send your ships into the Straits of Hormuz? The question is probably no. Why not? Because one, it's mined. Secondly, there can be an anti-ship missile aimed at your tanker. Thirdly, there can be a drone strike. And think about it, even if you do, as the head of a shipping company, will the captain of ships want to take his ship into a danger zone? And what about others on the ship? Would they be keen to go? Probably not. And what does it lead to? It will lead to huge spikes in crude oil prices. And we are already beginning to see that. It could get worse. That's really the worry.
Srinjoy, stay on with us. Let's also tell our viewers a little bit more about these sea mines that we are talking about. What exactly is Iran's arsenal? And, let's tell you a little bit more about it. Now, potential threats of these naval mines. Now, as far as influence mines are concerned, they are triggered by sound or magnetic fields. They are hidden usually on the seabed. Then you've got limpet mines, another kind of mines that are being used. Here, the divers attach them to a ship's hull. Now, this causes a delayed explosion. Then you've got moored mines as well. Now, these are sensor-based explosives used to choke narrow waterways, something that perhaps, can be used in Strait of Hormuz or maybe already being used there. Then you've got bottom mines as well. They lie on the seabed. They rely essentially on sensors. They contain much larger explosive charges. Now, viewers, as the Middle East war continues, images of destruction have become relentless. Oil facilities burning, missiles streaking across the night sky, ships being torpedoed. But one image, viewers, has put the world on edge. A Thai-flagged vessel, Mayuri Nari. Now, that was engulfed in flames at the Strait of Hormuz after being struck by projectiles. And viewers, it was headed towards Gujarat. Yes, it was headed towards Gujarat in India. 20 crew members have been rescued while 3 are still missing. Reports are suggesting the attack was carried out by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Then another container that was a Japan-flagged container, and there was a Greek-owned bulk container. Now, they were also among the 3 commercial vessels that were targeted in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has now vowed to block every single liter of oil that's being shipped to its enemies.
البته پرقدرت تکرار می‌کنیم هرگز اجازه نمی‌دهیم حتی 1 لیتر نفت به نفع آمریکا و صهیونیست‌ها. شما باید بدانید که نخواهید توانست قیمت نفت و انرژی را با تنفس مصنوعی پایین بیاورید که با گسترش جنگ در منطقه اعلام کردیم منتظر بشکه‌ای $200 باشید.